Hello, Shelley from Spin Cushions here, Shelley husband, and today I'm going to show you how to make this square called Solid Sue from my Granny Square Academy, the very first pattern. So hopefully you've read all of your reading materials and you have your yarn and hook at the ready. Okay, so we're going to start off by making a slip knot. I've done that by crossing over the yarn, poking my hook through the loop I have just made, grabbing the yarn at the back, and pull the two tails and you have a slip knot. Now we're going to work one chain, so yarn over and pull through, and that one chain is going to be where we work all of our round one stitches. Now it might pay you, until you know what you're doing, to grab a stitch marker and poke it through that first chain so you know where to put your hook. Now our pattern starts with chain 3, which takes the place of our first stitch. 1, 2, 3. And the stitches we're going to be making are all called trebles in UK terms or doubles in US terms. So yarn over, poke your hook in where that stitch marker is, pull a loop to the front, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. So then we've got chain 3, which is pretending to be our first stitch and our first real stitch. Then we're going to chain 2 and work 2 more stitches in that same hole. Now that we've made a couple, we can take that stitch marker out and you'll see that the hole's pretty obvious where to work your stitches. So that's one stitch, and here is our second. We're going to chain 2 and 2 more stitches. And chain 2 and 2 more stitches. Okay, so now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 lots of 2 stitches, and now we're going to join up. Now instead of chaining 2 and joining with a slip stitch, if you've read all the pattern notes, you'll know that we're not going to do that. We're going to chain 1 and then we're going to join with a double crochet UK terms, single crochet US terms, to that loop there, the top loop of our third chain. The best way to find that is to look for your P. You see the P of our stitch, and then this next loop over to the right is the top of the loop of our third chain. So I've just popped a stitch marker in there so you can see that, but let's just show you how to do that join. So I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to poke my hook just in that top loop, yarn over, pull a loop to the front, so there's 2 loops on my hook, yarn over and pull through 2, and then we have it, round 1 done. It's time to start round 2. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and if you're not sure about finding that third chain, grab a stitch marker and pop it in the top of that third chain as soon as you've made it. Now the next instruction is to work a stitch over the joining stitch, and all that means is into this big hole here, just like we were into the 2 chain space. I'm going to take that out so that you can see I'm doing a bit better. Sorry about that. So yarn over in that big hole, pull a loop up, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. Okay, now if you've worked just into that back loop, you'll see there's a nice big gap. That's where we're going to work our next stitch, in that big hole there, the same place we joined with the slip stitch. That's the first stitch of our side. And the next one is worked into the next stitch. So underneath that V, above the arm, we're going to poke our hook and work another stitch. And that is our side done. And now we're up to the corner, which is this big 2 chain space. We're going to do 2 stitches. 1, 2, chain 2, and then 2 more stitches in the same big hole. And then it's time to do our side again. Now that first stitch might be a bit hidden. Just slide your stitches across and you can see the P appear, and that's where you work your first stitch. It's the same all the way around. I'll do that all the way around and show you what happens. Okay, I've done my repeats all the way around. Now I just need to finish off that first corner we started by doing 2 stitches in the same place that our first ones were worked, which is this corner space here. 1, 2, and we're going to join the same way by chaining 1 and joining with a stitch to the top of that third chain. Yarn over, pull through to the front, yarn over, pull through 2. And that's that. The next round is exactly the same, it's just more stitches on each side. So we start with chain 3, pop a stitch marker in there if you need help to find that. Over the joining stitch in the big hole underneath there. Then a stitch in every stitch, and the first one is in that big hole where we've joined to make that P shape. And then under the V of every stitch along the side. Our corners are the same, 2 stitches, chain 2, 2 stitches. And we do that all the way around, finish the same way. I'll go all the way around and finish one more time and then show you how we continue on. Okay, I've done all of my repeats all the way around. I just need to do 2 more stitches in this space here to finish off that first corner. 1, 2, and again we're going to chain 1 and join to the top of our third chain. So find the P, and that loop there on top is the top of the third chain. Loop to the front, yarn over through 2. And the other rounds are exactly the same. You're just going to have more stitches along each side. I'm going to do the next 3 rounds, but at the very end I'll show you what you do that was slightly different. So back in a second. Okay, I've almost finished round 6. I just need to do 2 more stitches in the same place as our first stitches. 1, 2. Now this time, because we're finishing off this colour, we don't need to continue. There's no need to finish in the middle of the corner. So we're going to chain 2 and we're going to join with a slip stitch to the top of the third chain. So it's just pulling through everything. And that is that. You finish off your square. And pull your tail through your final loop. And all done. There we go, solid Sue. So hopefully you've learnt a lot and you will now be ready for Granny Square Academy Part 2. If you've stumbled across this video and not sure what I'm talking about, head to spincushions.com and look for the Granny Square Academy tab and you'll find lots of cool stuff. Thanks, I'll see you later.